Now let's apply all of these things that we've talked about to the Hy-Vee data files on Canvas. And there are two files. One of them is Hy-Vee, I believe, stacked, or Hy-Vee demo stacked, and the other ends in binary. And so download both of those. And first we're going to look at the stacked file. So Hy-Vee demo stacked that's on Canvas. So in that file, we have this data that lists a bunch of different orders from different customers. So what this is saying is that customer 1 ordered these 5 products: bread, fruit, jelly, milk, peanut butter. Customer 2 ordered all of these products. And so that's what this data is telling us. And if we scroll all the way down, there were 10 total customers. And so this is great. This is helpful information, but there might be a more helpful way to visualize this data, even just the raw data. A different type of file might be more helpful. So I'm going to switch over to the Hy-Vee binary file. So this is Hy-Vee demo binary, and this is the same information, but now each of the rows represents an order, and along the top we've listed out all of the things that were purchased at least once. So if I look at this first row of numbers, this row 2 of my Excel file, there's a 1 if that customer in that order ordered the item, and a 0 if they didn't. So here I could see they ordered bread, peanut butter, milk, fruit, jelly. They didn't order soda, potato chips, vegetables, whipped cream, chocolate sauce. They didn't order any of these other things. So that's another way to kind of organize this same information. So something I might want to do is look at different item sets and think about the support for different things and the confidence and the lift ratio. So as an example of this, down below, I'm going to do an example where the antecedent, let's say, is bread, and the consequent is fruit and jelly. I'm gonna make this a little bit wider. Okay, so I'm going to be thinking about, if someone buys bread, I want to understand how likely it is that they buy fruit and jelly. So what I might do first is just figure out the support of these different item sets. So the support of bread would just be how many of these orders had bread in them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I wanted the support for the antecedent, I'm just going to call that A. So my antecedent is A, my consequent I'll call C. The support for A would be the number of orders that had bread, which is 4, divided by the total number of orders, which is 10. So that would be 40%. And maybe I also care about the support of the consequent, C. I don't want this to be a copyright symbol, just want it to be a C. And so the support of C would be how many orders had both fruit and jelly in them. So I could look at this and say, okay, first one did, second one did, this third one did not. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of the orders had both fruit and jelly out of the total 10. And so that would be the support of each of those. And then another thing I could look into is what's the support of, or the support for A and C. So the support for the item set that includes all 3 of these items. So the item set with both bread and fruit and jelly. And so I'd look at how many orders have all 3 of those. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so this would also be 4 out of 10 because 4 orders had all 3 of those things. And next, I might want to look at the confidence. And so the confidence, if you remember, that was the probability, the support of the consequent and the antecedent. So here that was 0.4 divided by the support of the antecedent, which was also 0.4 in this example. And so here the confidence would be 1. Another thing that we talked about was the lift ratio. And so the lift ratio was our confidence of the rule, which here was 1, divided by the support of the consequent, which was 0.5. And so here our lift ratio would be 2. And so this is what all of these things mean. And in general, we would probably have a much bigger data set where there would be a lot of different item sets that we'd want to look at. And if you remember, we want typically things that occur frequently. And so we would want item sets with large enough support. We said in general, support at least 20%. And this is how we would calculate all of these things that we looked at. And something I want to emphasize is this confidence. This is the conditional probability that is finding the probability of my consequent given this antecedent. So this is saying, what's the probability of buying fruit and jelly if I know that I already bought bread? And so this confidence being 1 means that there's a 100% probability that someone will buy fruit and jelly if we know they already bought bread. And so that probably means it's good to put fruit and jelly near the bread, or to advertise those products to someone who is already buying bread, because we are quite confident that they are also going to buy fruit and jelly. So this confidence is that conditional probability, saying if I condition on buying the antecedent, what's the probability that I buy the items in the consequent item set?